is a lot of information which is repeated here. You have a text which is restored, which is usually given in square brackets in epigraphic editions. By the way, in the afternoon, when we take to our hands-on session, you will probably have to copy-paste the text, and you will probably have to preserve all the editorial sigla in the text in order to remember where they are, but you will gradually substitute them with the respective epidoc tags. So you have here kapeskeu aste, which is restored, and epiton eus and ebestaton, which is restored, and the restored part of the text, as we said, are rendered by supplied, reason lost. The beginning of the restored part is where your starting elements starts, and the closing square bracket is where the closing elements come. So for sebestaton part, you have supplied, reason lost, and you see that right before the part that we have completely lost is an unclear letter, which also gets rendered like this. So in your visualization scenario, in all the front ends that we will show you on Wednesday and on Thursday, these epigraphic conventions are followed. Everything that is encoded as supplied, reason lost is then visualized as in square brackets, and everything that is encoded as unclear is visualized as under dotted letters. Hopefully, if the front-end tool works well, but you have this well embedded in FS as well as in Ajax, and probably some of this works also in the more generic visualization tools that you'll be shown, for example, TI Publisher. I'm not sure about the under dotted letters because they're very specifically epigraphic, but the supplying of Lacunae also holds true for editing of other types of documents, and it should work also in all the different elements. You also want to indicate that after this restored part of the word, there is some space completely lost, but we don't know how much it is. So you can simply put the empty element gap here. Gap is an empty element, just like the line break or line beginning. You just put it without an opening and a closing tag whenever you want to indicate that there is a lacuna, but you can also, yes, you can show that you don't know how much exactly is lost. And you also add this here, because after the parts of the inscriptions that we have restored, we probably had something more. The inscription continued as far right as could possibly go, but we're not sure how much exactly. What part of the content is lost, so we encode it in this way. If you do this one by one, you will have no problems, but as you see here already, and as you will see in the afternoon when you start doing your own inscriptions, at some point the encoding of the text becomes hardly legible for the human eye, and you need to be careful how you where you start and where you end your elements, but there are some handy ways to handle that, some of which Elina has already shown you, and we will see others as we proceed. This is about Lacunae. I believe that we don't have more of this. Do you have any questions for now? Oh, yes, there is. There is something more, simply. If you have in the visualization of Epidoc, you have here encoded the restored text and the lacuna separately, so they should be visualized in square brackets with opening and closing square bracket for the supplied text and with opening and closing square bracket for the lacuna. But this is not what you want to get. You want to get the restored part of the word and the multiple dots into one square bracket. The good thing is that if you encode it properly, the two square brackets which are put against each other, they will eliminate each other, and you will have just one set of square brackets, an opening one which is before the restored part of the word, and the closing one which is after the gap. So this is something that you don't need to deal with. There are some odd bits of lacuna that you have an unclear letter, and then you have a lost part. But you want also to indicate this. This is not the proper way to do it. What is meant by this? There is something like this in some epigraphic publications, but the more proper way to do it is actually with a question mark after the EUTHS word, which gives the impression that we're not sure that the part which should be restored is EUTHS or some other word which starts with E. Then you put the cert law here. This is to indicate that the certainty with which you restore this word is not high. You're not sure that if this E stands for EUTHS. And yes, if I'm reminding you that both words, EUTHS and sebastos, should be encoded as supplied separately, and then the internal square brackets will just eliminate each other. So we always mark up the semantics of what is on the stone or the papyrus, and not what we think we want our edition to look like. So we encode all the supplied words separately, and we don't encode all the supplied passage from the beginning until the end, where we think our brackets should begin and should end. This is something which is taken care of by the visualization. But we want to indicate that both the first word or part of it and the second word are supplied by the editor. And the way they are visualized is something which is completely different. So if you start your own encoding, please bear in mind that you want to think of what information you want to render as an editor, and on the first place, and not how you want it to look in your edition in the second place. The way it looks is rendered automatically in the embedded visualization scenarios that you have, which are either based on XSLT or, as you will see in the case of Ajax, are rendered by PHP. But this is it.